Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo here in this theater, there's a great line that the character, the main character, Stotty, says that the city of San Francisco isn't what it used to be. And that was back in 1958. And I know that all of you here, if you've just moved here, if you've been here for 20 years, you've been watching it change. And movie theaters in general, this has been one of the hardest times to keep them going. Most theaters have to give 100% of the ticket sales to the studios. And then the only way that they make any money is if you buy popcorn or drink. No wonder they're $12 each, right? It's just to try and keep the theaters open. So I'd love for you to give yourself a hand for coming out tonight and supporting an independent movie theater like the Castro Theatre. You know, some of you like snuffing your own food, you don't pay for shit. Now, Elvis, very nice, come on down. Elvis. Now some of you may have thought of Escape from New York, but they made a TV movie that's 2.5 hours long. That's the history of Elvis. And I can't tell you how amazing Kurt Russell is, how great this movie was, and it was made for television. I'm getting this right. I'll give you a David Max. Let's give it up right here. Now, The Thing is going to be playing at the Roxy in 35mm. The tickets just went on sale, as I said. Some of you need to buy those tickets fast because San Francisco has been changing, and it's been a wonderful year. Movie theaters are selling out like crazy with the Alamo Draft House, the Roxy, here at the Castro. You guys have been coming out in droves. It's as if you actually want to watch movies in a movie theater again instead of on your iPhone or your laptop. This is exciting as a film programmer, because I know you've already seen this film. I know you own these films. One movie that I know you perhaps have overlooked is Bone Tomahawk. Who's seen this film? Okay, this is the other Kurt Russell Western from last year. And while Alejandro Gonzalez, Inarritu, and Quentin Tarantino got all the attention from Hollywood last year for their gigantic, pretentious Westerns, this little film, Bone Tomahawk, not only is a better film, it's a better Western, and it's also a better genre movie that people will be talking about 10 years from now. And sure enough, it's got Kurt Russell battling troglodytes in a Western genre. And it's the perfect pairing to be with John Carpenter's revisionist Western, The Thing. And this was something that Carpenter did time and time again. He grew up watching John Ford Westerns. He grew up watching movies like Rio Bravo by Howard Hawks. But the Western was dead in the 1980s. So he had to translate that into different genres. The movie we're about to see is going to mix all of the genres into one, very similar to John Carpenter. Never Too Young to Die. Who's seen it? Okay, so please raise your hand if you've never seen this film. Now the director, the screenwriter, the producer, they all had a lot of conflict working on this movie. It's also a movie that is still unavailable on any sort of modern media. I think someone posted it on YouTube recently and then it gets taken down. I can tell you one thing is that John Stamos has been trying to buy the rights for this movie for years. And it's because he now loves it. Not because he's trying to hide it. He actually has started to realize this movie has cult attraction, cult following. It's a mixed bag, as they say. But that's a good thing, because the movie, I think, is trying to throw every single ingredient at you, much like John Carpenter was doing in Big Trouble in Little China. Now, does anybody know who Al Leong is? Who's Al Leong? Come here. Wow. You're like the new best friend here. Al Leong. Al Leong was our stuntman who was always in the background in our gangs. He's in tons of films. Bald guy, long hair, little Fu Manchu. Did you see him in this film? What other movies have you seen that guy in? See, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. He's the type of character actor that MiDNiTES from MANiACS likes to celebrate. Which poster do you want? You want a little Kurt Russell? You want Kurt Russell. Here you go. Give it up for Mr. Al Leong right there. And number 2 of you guys filled with these types of character actors. In fact, there's an actor from Big Trouble in Little China in this movie. Who is it? I heard it. Kwong, come here. Peter Kwong, very nice. Where are you? I heard you. Peter Kwong played what character in Big Trouble? Yeah, good. Right, you don't get shit for that, but that's good. Here you go. Very nice. Now, to get to see 2 movies made in the same year, you can kind of get into the zeitgeist of the time period, right? They don't make movies like Never Too Young to Die anymore. I wish they did. I wish they did, because all of these side characters in the film, you notice in Big Trouble, everyone's got a character arc. No one is an extra. And you're going to notice in Never Too Young to Die that this is a very positively queer film, which is very odd in the 1980s, just like it was a positively female characters in Big Trouble in Little China. These little details are what make a lot of films so special. So you kind of pay attention to one line over here, one character in the bar who comes up as a waitress and makes a little comment. Now, Never Too Young to Die got terrible reviews, and some people could say that the film is maybe homophobic and progressive at the exact same time. They would be fucking right. Now, Gene Simmons is going to play a very specific character here. Who did he model his character after? Cher. Now, that's a real conscious choice. Where are you? Raise your hand. Oh, Gabe, wonderful. Gabe, you got 2 free tickets to come and see Bone Tomahawk and the Thing at the Roxy on May 28th for getting that right. Now you know this information here, that when you're watching Gene Simmons, this is like a modern idea, that he's going to truly embrace the idea of being in drag, of being what is known as a hermaphrodite, what is perhaps now something for the future. Are you prepared for a world where we won't be saying he and she anymore? Absolutely, and that is literally what Gene Simmons is going to play here. Now, our 3rd actor in this movie is Vanity. We give it up for Vanity. Now, I was able to speak to the cinematographer of this movie just this past week. He, in fact, teaches at the Academy of Art University. Does anyone know his name? Our cinematographer, who you will pay attention to in the credits, he also shot a movie called Poor Pretty Eddie, that just played over here at the Alamo Draft House. He also co-directed Jean-Claude Van Damme's greatest movie, Kickboxer. Give it up for Kickboxer, there's, spoiler alert, a sex scene. And in this sex scene between John Stamos and Vanity, she manhandled him. And he was not prepared for how excited she was. And you will be able to notice this throughout the sequence. Now, this type of sort of balls-to-the-wall filmmaking in the 1980s, it's irresponsible, it's too many ideas in one, and it's also what makes genre cinema so much fun. I put a couple of trailers here for upcoming MiDNiTES for MANiACS coming up. May 20th here in the Castro Theatre is another greatest hits of this film series that's been going for 13 years. Is John Hughes' Pretty in Pink. And Brian De Palma's Carrie. You have to build up to that, right? You could actually bring someone that you like to Pretty in Pink, and then you could let them go home when you watch Carrie. I'm not sure. Some of you, you're watching both movies tonight, and I can't tell you, there's nothing better in San Francisco than to come out here to the Castro Theatre, watch 2 movies that will truly blow your mind. And this one is in 35mm. We give it up for our projectionist tonight. Listen, Michael. It's the most thankless job in the world to be a projectionist. We only notice him when things go wrong. But tonight we're gonna love you for working here for so many years and so many people who don't respect you, Michael. Thank you so much. My name is Hawthorne Ficks.